We exist to show up and give kids hope. And the way that we do that is we provide mobile after-school programs and mobile human services. Our fleet of outreach trucks include the Bay Area's first nonprofit food truck. We have also a laundry truck, a mobile after-school program truck, and we're building out our stories truck, which is a mobile library. We initially got the idea to be mobile visiting a friend in New York City who does a mobile kids ministry. We coupled that idea with the burden of, being the most unchurched city in America. Families in San Francisco don't go to church. So the question my wife and I asked one another is, how do we Amazon Prime the gospel right to where they live? And came up with the idea of Mobilize Love. We boiled down the three needs we want to tackle, which is food relief, literacy, and social-emotional development. Ultimately, we decided to focus in on children, youth, and families. Anytime God is moving in Scripture, we know the enemy goes after the kids. It's easier to tear down an acorn than an oak tree. It's easier to destroy someone's life at a young age. And when you actually reverse engineer a lot of people's stories that have been through a lot of trauma or addiction, something happened to them when they were a child. That's why we exist. We got to go after kids. We got to give them hope. We got to give them a fair shot. We have to give them access. We want to just go upstream and ensure that these kids get a fair shot and break the cycles of despair and poverty and give them a fair chance. We realize the Bayview is one of the last remaining neighborhoods where there's actually a large youth population. 24% of the residents in the Bayview are 17 years and younger. So it's a very large population of our target demographic, and there's just gaps. When we visited some of these neighborhoods, we would look at, for example, a community where there was 4 major housing projects without any parking, any grocery stores, any restaurants, any liquor stores. And I was just thinking, they literally just put a bunch of families in the middle of nowhere. Things like that started to really bother us because we realized that it was almost like out of sight, out of mind. It's like, yes, we want to provide housing and preserve housing for people that can't make it out here, but they provide relatively nothing else. And so there's just a lot of need. They are the ones that are the fastest growing population of homelessness, are the families living like paycheck to paycheck. They're just 1 or 2 checks away from complete disaster. So that's why we also want to step in there and show up. There may be people in the audience today, right, that may say, okay, if we're not solving systemic issues, why feed someone a hot meal? And then there's the other camp that says, forget the systemic issues, there's just sheer need right now. And I always like to say those are not two different things. They're the same thing. When we provide a laundry service, or we give a family new clothes, or we give them a hot meal for the night, or whatever service may be, a haircut, we have to realize how impactful that is for someone living at or below the poverty line. So when we show up with 20 hot meals for them for a couple of days, they take that. It matters. When we provide free haircuts, it matters to them. They don't have to spend that money out of their pocket. It gives them pad for their bank account. But also what I've really seen is a lot of relief for the parents. They're just they breathe a sigh of relief. One mother, she cried when we gave her the hot meals because she says, not only do you feed my family, you give me a night off from cooking. For us to go directly to where they're at in providing access, they don't have to go anywhere. They just have to come downstairs or outside, out the door, and we're right there. That for us is rendering justice. The Hebrew word for justice, mishpat, in the Bible, is really not the American mindset of justice. It's protecting those that can't protect themselves and providing for those who can't provide for themselves. They don't have a ton of activities, extracurricular activities. They go to school, they come home. So when we show up and we pop up our trucks, our food truck is cooking meals and our kids truck is providing after school programs for them to run outside and enjoy 2 to 3 hours of excitement and peace right there in their neighborhood. That's leveling the playing field. That's giving them access to what every kid deserves. There is something about our presence being there where they do come out of the home, they're running, they're riding their bikes, they're skipping to Mobilize Love Kids, our program, there's music playing, and I see them basically almost breathe a sigh of relief, let their hair down, because they know nothing bad's gonna happen for these 2 to 3 hours that we're out here. It's all the soft KPIs, the smiles, the hugs, the laughter. I mean, it's important. It's important to have in these communities, and at least when we're out there, we see it. Your partnership has allowed us to grow to where we are today. I don't think we would have gotten to this place without your partnership and without your church giving the way that they have. Our work is human change agents. That's what we do. And so when your church gives to us, man, that just fuels us up. I mean, that just allows us to continue to do what we've been doing. And so it matters a lot.